Once again, Quebec gets to play by different rules than the rest of the country. Quebec can do what it wants. The federal government will never tell them otherwise, even after an election, when Quebec votes are no longer required. The latest example of this comes in Quebec's official announcement that it will be pursuing a value screening when it comes to immigrants. We don't yet know the specific test that will be used or the values that in particular will be screened for, but starting in January, just a couple of months from now, the Quebec government will ensure that all immigrants to the province have a baseline understanding and acceptance of Quebec values, things like gender equality, things like pluralism. Now, you may disagree with Quebec values, you may disagree with the specific application of them in this case, but what's interesting is that not a peep has been heard from Justin Trudeau to condemn this. Moreover, when the topic came up during the federal election, Justin Trudeau endorsed the idea that Quebec has a right, without federal intervention, to ensure its immigration system is in accordance with the standards it sets out for itself. Now, by the way, I think that value screening in immigration is paramount. You want to make sure that anyone coming to your country, your province, your community is going to fit in. This isn't about eradicating people's own identity. It's not about banning them from practicing certain religious expressions, which Quebec's Bill 21 does in some case. It's about making sure that there is a fit between someone who comes from a country where the values are different and this country where the values are the ones that we as a country decide to embrace on a regular basis. So Quebec is not off base in wanting to achieve this. The problem is that Justin Trudeau has relentlessly attacked anyone who's talked about values and immigration in other capacities. You may remember back in 2017, Kellie Leitch, at the time a Conservative leadership candidate, had a very similar proposal for the country as a whole. She gave examples of some of these questions during the campaign, basically making sure that people who immigrate to Canada are going to have shared values on religious freedom, free speech, gender equality, things that all of us in Canada would say are national values, and thus things that shouldn't be controversial to ask about or to ensure are reflected in those who come here. But what happened? The left called Kellie Leitch racist. Justin Trudeau said, oh my goodness, can you imagine what a Conservative party led by Kellie Leitch would look like? And she was subjected to some of the most vitriolic hate of any Conservative candidate in that leadership race. And now when Quebec puts forward what is effectively the same idea, there is absolute silence from Justin Trudeau. Now, this doesn't mean that Justin Trudeau has come around on the question of value screening in immigration. All it means is that Justin Trudeau is still petrified of ticking off Quebec. This is a common theme among federal leaders. We saw it with Bill 21, which, by the way, was a bill that I think was worthy of federal government criticism, and now we're seeing it in terms of Quebec immigration. But this fear of Quebec, this trembling and quaking in the boots whenever Quebec votes are on the line, has to stop. We cannot cede control over the national discourse to one particular province, even if they're doing something that isn't, in this case, all that terrible an idea, depending on how it manifests going forward. But this is what's happening right now. For True North, I'm Andrew Lawton.